How to keep the weight off in 3 steps. Hi everyone, I'm Dan Dos Santos from The Geek Physique. Please subscribe and ring the bell. Now the first step you want to do is reframe your identity. You need to stop thinking of this as an A to B exercise and start thinking about the type of person you want to become and what that type of person would do to keep their weight in check. And the type of person you want to be would not just look at this as A to B exercise and take their foot off the pedal when they get to their goal. They're going to be training all the time. They're going to be thinking about their food, at least on some level, all of the time. And so this all starts with the way you talk about this. Genuinely it does. Instead of saying, oh, I just need to get this 10 pounds off, or I just need to do this cleanse or something like that, start thinking about how the person you want to be would talk. I'm the type of person who trains multiple times a week. I am the type of person who thinks about their protein intake. I'm the type of person who makes sure they have nutrient-dense foods. I am the type of person that goes to the gym regardless of whether I feel motivated. Once you become that person, you no longer have to ask how you're going to lose weight or how you should be training or how to train when you're not feeling motivated, because you're the type of person that does all those things anyway. And those are the types of people that are able to keep the weight off. Now, like I touched on before, you don't want to be using unsustainable methods. And if you've clicked on this video, you may have tried to lose weight before, or you've lost weight in the past and then you've put it back on. And oftentimes people do this because of the unsustainable methods they choose. So that brings me on to my second step. Choose sustainable habits. You need to start small. Don't pick something super extreme and something you cannot keep up. Instead, focus on starting from at least 2 full body resistance training sessions a week, about 45 to 60 minutes a session. So that's about 90 to 120 minutes of resistance training over the course of the week, split into at least 2 sessions. The 2 sessions to vary your volume and other things we can talk about in a separate video. But this I have found with every client I've worked with that actually is serious about this and have multiple commitments, multiple reasons to say they don't have time, they've been able to make the time for these sessions. Now you can split them into shorter, sharper sessions, more sessions throughout the week to get that 90 to 120 minutes over the course of the week. But that's just an example of an effective strategy anyone can use really to sustain a habit of working out multiple times a week, and this will assist them in losing the weight and keeping the weight off. Another thing you want to do is pick a sustainable approach to eating. I believe that calories in versus calories out gives you the most bang for your buck when it comes to eating the foods you love and actually getting to your goals. It isn't for everyone, and it isn't for everyone forever either. So for myself, I don't actually count calories at the moment because I'm not trying to lose or gain weight. I'm actually just trying to maintain. And once you've counted calories enough times, you understand from an intuitive point of view how much food, how many calories, how much protein you need day to day to maintain your weight and to be able to train effectively and move forward with your training. So once you get to your goal and you've been able to maintain it for a good amount of time, 4 to 8 weeks is probably a good sweet spot to start with. You've probably during that time been eating the same amounts of foods, the same kind of foods, the same amount as I said, and that builds into your habits. You get an understanding of that without really even needing to think about it. And most of us eat similar things week to week anyway. So once you, like I said, have done what you need to do, proven to yourself you can maintain, you're going to have the habits. Now, what you need to keep in mind here as well is making the process as easy as possible, making those habits as easy to maintain and to ingrain in yourself as possible. And here are some practical strategies you can use. Train in the morning. Unless your job starts that early, or you have some kind of early morning commitment that you just cannot move, I would say train in the morning or as early in the day as possible. And the reason being is the earlier it goes, if it goes first or the earlier it goes, the less things can get in the way of it happening. The less excuses you can make to say, oh, well, I wasn't able to train this morning because of X. If you put it first in your schedule, and you have got a schedule that you can actually stick to, like I mentioned before, then the only thing that you really need to do is get up, get your clothes on and go to the gym, or get up, get your clothes on and work out at home. That's the only barrier. And so when you eliminate barriers, you make it actually easier to form that habit. Meal planning. So when you shop, make sure you actually think about your meals. And this goes back to the calories in versus calories out and thinking about your protein as well. Especially if you use that strategy to get your goal and maintain the results you get and even surpass the results, you will, in doing that, when you go shopping, a really good idea to just make it easier on you is to think about, okay, I need this many meals this week. I need this many different types of protein. I need this many types of carbs or fats. And you can think about from a calorie perspective and a protein perspective, what you need. And you can take it even further than that. You don't have to, for the majority of people, you don't have to think about your carbs and fats because those usually fall into place, but you can do. And meal planning and when you go shopping or you order your shop online, or even if you use a meal prep service, think about that because that will set you up for success ahead of time. Another thing you can do to add on to that is actually meal prep. You've probably seen this loads before, but this is just going to save you time. You know, there's parts of the week for most people where you have more time, and there's other parts of the week where you have less time, or you have more chances that your time will be taken. So you might think, oh, sometimes on a Monday I have time to cook, sometimes I don't. But on a Sunday, I pretty much just chill out every Sunday, right? So if you know that, then use part of your Sunday to cook for the week. And then you don't have to worry. You don't have to think best case scenario. You can think worst case scenario, plan for it. And then most of the time, things will be good anyway. You'll have time, but you'll have the food already there anyway. And it just means that you can get more of other stuff done that you wouldn't have been able to do. So, like I said, just to recap on the first two steps, reframe your identity and then form sustainable habits to ingrain that new identity. This is the complete opposite of doing a cleanse or something like that. Step 3 is weight fluctuation. So this is part of the acceptance that over time, your weight is going to fluctuate. Now, if you've gotten so far in that you've actually lost some weight, you would know this already, that day to day, week to week, your weight will fluctuate. And it's just about how you're trending on average. So instead of getting worked up about a day's difference in weight, that's why you do multiple weigh-ins across the week and you look at your averages over time. And if you're trending downwards, you know you're losing weight. So then you don't get worked up if the weight jumps one day and beat yourself up and quit, right? But you can actually zoom out that process and think about that across the entire year. And this is what I've also told clients who go through a big transformation is part of this process is proving to yourself that you can do this then proving to yourself that you can sustain it. And once you've done that, it's also proving to yourself that you can dial things up and down. And what I mean by that is there will be parts of the year where you may want to pick up the ante. So maybe just after Christmas, you might have put on a few pounds, and because of the habits you already train multiple times a week, you already have an idea of how much food you need to eat and how much protein. You can just start counting calories again, like you did when you first had to lose the weight. And just do that until you get to a weight you're happy with, and then go back to intuitively eating based on the amount you've then lost weight. It becomes a lot easier once you have the habits to go back to your good habits, or to just dial them up when you need to. Another example is if you come back from a long holiday, or if you do go for a sustained period traveling, you're maybe not training as much or eating as well. It's just about picking up where you left off as soon as you can. And knowing this is so powerful because it gives you a sense of reassurance that no matter what happens, I am this person. Going back to step one, I am the type of person that takes care of their health. I am the type of person that trains multiple times a week. I am the type of person that will train no matter how I feel, whether I feel motivated or not. So if you know you're that type of person, if there's other things that are genuinely important to you as well, like having a fun Christmas with your family and not thinking about all of this stuff, or going on holiday and not thinking about all this stuff, which is perfectly normal to have, then you're just going to get back on that horse because you are that person, right? You're not a person that struggles to get back on the horse. You're a person that's taking a little break and is getting back to the person that they are. Now, I want to give you a bonus step, which is to read the book Atomic Habits. This is something I've talked about in other videos. It's an amazing book, and it does a lot to go deeper on the first two steps I've given you in this video. It will not only help you apply the steps I've given you in a better way, but it will help you understand habits in their totality. You know, there's multiple parts to habits. I'm not going to go deeply into it now, but you understand why I picked out those two steps. And I did use a few examples and talked about them a bit more, and you'll find these things in the book. But it will not only help you with this, it will also help you form the habits to become the person you want to be. And that's what this is all about, this video, is if you want to be successful with your weight loss, sustain the results and even surpass them, if you want to even have that same vigor and that same approach to your career, Atomic Habits is going to give you a holistic view of that. So buy it, read it, or get it on your Audible and listen to it. Implement all of these steps, including step 3, which will come in time, the acceptance of that weight fluctuation. Make sure you comment below if you disagree with me or if you have any questions, and make sure you subscribe, and stay tuned for another video. Thanks, guys.